Glenn Damico is an art director, a diaper changer. I really hope he has kids. A husbandly thing doer, graphic designer, toddler chaser, hot worshiper, taco chef extraordinaire, copywriter, mixtape maker, and believer. You can find out more at glendamico.com or follow him on the Twitter at Glenn Damico, or you can listen to him right now. Glenn Damico.
Hi there. I'd just like to start by thanking everybody for coming out tonight, thanking everybody for voting on this whole process here. This has really been great. I'm going to talk about hacking a layoff. I think we have enough geeks in the room here to understand the basic concept of hacking, the idea of looking at something from a different perspective. My story, I was an art director at the Wilmington office of one of the largest independent ad agencies on the East Coast. And I used the past tense on that because on March 1st, 2010, I was handed an envelope marked personal and confidential. And the contents of that envelope told me that I had been restructured. What the hell is restructured? I'm still here, I'm still got arms and legs and all that stuff. Well, restructured means laid off. So what ended up happening that day was I put all my stuff in a cardboard box and I went home. That's a lie. I went to the bar first, but then I eventually went home. Let's have a little show of hands here. How many of you have ever been handed that same envelope? Woo! Guys, give yourselves a hand. Well, in any event, whether you've been handed that envelope before or not, I think you're still going to find a lot of value in what I have to say this evening, because if you haven't been handed it, or whether you have, you never know what's around the next corner, which is what I learned on March 1st, 2010. And when I say these lessons are non-obvious, what I mean by that is I'm not going to tell you to cancel HBO. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your 401k, because I'll be honest with you, I don't friggin' know. But what I am going to tell you is I'm going to give you some counterintuitive, non-obvious things. And the first lesson I'd like to share with you is create an allowing space for yourself to grieve. Because really, think about this for a minute. You all probably spend more waking hours with your coworkers than you do with your families, because you're all probably passionate people. You all probably give a damn about what you do. And this is a big time loss. This is like a divorce. This is like a death in the family. So create an allowing space for yourself to grieve. My allowing space, like I said, was the bar at Lots I'll Take It. Your mileage may vary. But the point about an allowing space is that it has an end. So you have to understand there's a point where it has to end. You create your space, you move through it, and then you move on. The second lesson I'd like to share with you is the idea of ignoring the outside world. Your entire world is going to be turned upside down. You're not going to know north from south, east from west. The world isn't going to make sense to you anymore. And all you're going to want to do is look at CNN. You're going to want to look at MSNBC. You're going to want to see what the economy's doing. You're going to want to try and make sense of it all. Don't do it. Because all you're going to do is you're going to get lost. You're going to think you're a statistic. And I'm here to tell you, you are not a statistic. So it doesn't matter. Don't get lost in all that nonsense. You'll have plenty of time to figure that out. Which brings me to the next thing I'd like to talk about, the idea of believing in abundance. And you're probably looking at me and saying, dude, you just got friggin' laid off. What are you talking about abundance for? But you're going to have to reframe a lot of things when something like this happens to you. So look at it a little differently. What if you said, instead of looking at it and saying, oh my God, I'm out here with all these other people looking for jobs. What if you looked at it and said, you know what, I'm one person. I need to find exactly one opportunity for myself. And look at all these things posted online, friends, things I can talk about. Just reframe the question. That's very important. Also important, this was the hardest part for me to understand, was the idea of ownership. Take ownership of what happened to you. Because a lot of otherwise well-meaning people are going to say, oh, you know what, it was the economy, oh, there's nothing you could have done, oh, you know, it was a decision that was made, it was a money thing. Guess what, friends? I'm here to tell you that that's all bullshit. Because if you go through life thinking, oh, you know, there was nothing I could have done about it, and you know, you just keep going on your way, well, then how are you going to prevent it from happening again? Take ownership of what happened to you. That doesn't mean wallow in it, but own up to it and say, you know what, maybe there's something I could have done, and take that into your next experience. But at the same time, while you're owning it, there's something else that's very important. That's the flip side of that, to remember. You're still you. Nothing has changed about you except for one person's opinion of you. The only problem with that is that one person happens to be the one signing your paycheck. But, you know, work through it. The moral of the story is that no matter what happens, you are still the same awesome designer, coder, marketer, real estate person, chef, whatever it is that you did before you got to work that day. you're still the same person, and it's very hard to remember that. You really have to maintain focus on that. You're still awesome. So the 5 things that you have to remember when you're hacking a layoff. Create an allowing space for yourself to grieve. Don't get lost in MSNBC. Believe in the concept of abundance and really truly believe in it. Take ownership of what happened to you, and remember that you are still you and you are still awesome. And I am Damico, and thank you all very much.